Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I didn't write it down. Whoops. That's okay. Probably a good thing because it means I can write it down later and make sure I get everything that I need to get done. Yep. Today we are reading Shigaraki X Reader by Sweetie the Fox on Quote which will be linked in the description like the usual. God, that was terrible. I'm sorry. The usual. I'm never saying that again. Yep. The usual. So, this is part 3, chapter 3. There's still a fly flying around my room. It's like a little baby fly. Like it's really little, really tiny. So I only catch glimpses of it from time to time. And the cat keeps staring at it. It's not like he's trying to catch it or anything. He just kind of sits there and looks at it. It's like, oh, look, a new buddy. I gotta give him the backhanded of it though, because he's old, you know. What are you, 100 cat years? Yeah, you're old. Yeah, I know. I love you too. Oh, well, look away from me then. Fine, fuck you. Okay. What the fuck was that? It's like my door. Like when the cat pulls on my door, but my cat is in the opposite side of the room. It was the wind. Okay, yeah, let's begin. Shigaraki looked happy, and he stacked his deck of cards again. I think you'll fit right in, traveler. He smiled and gestured for you to sit on the bar stool next to him, and so you did. You weren't too confident, but you weren't overly shy, though you were more reserved than usual. The man said goodbye and left as quickly as he came, which left you, Shigaraki, and Kirigiri in the bar. You chatted with Shigaraki for a bit before he left to his room to do some work or something. Then Kirigiri piped up and you had a good conversation with him. It was random, but eventually Kirigiri asked what he should do with a bunch of paper cups he had spare. You told him not to get rid of them, and when he asked, you asked to have them. You then stacked them into different sized pyramids and took them down. This was repeated until you had a tall stack completed. In case you're unsure of what it's called, cup stacking, search it on YouTube and you'll find it. They can be used for stacking, you smile, and Kirigiri seems impressed. Is it like a hobby, he asked quietly, and you answered with, I guess, it's kind of like making a house of cards for fun, competitions, or other entertainment. And just as you said that, Shigaraki came out of his room and back to the bar. He looked at his wound and winced in pain at them. When you noticed and realized he had a bullet wound, and you quietly asked if you could help heal him a bit, to which he grumbled that he is fine. You sighed and turned back to the cups and began stacking them. Just let me know if you change your mind. What would the healing do? How would it affect him? Asked Kirigiri, polishing the glass. Not much. It would ease the pain and make the wound heal a bit quicker than normal, you say, putting the cups down and picking up your phone, then looking at a website of most villains in both the city you are in and ones close by. It rated the top villains at the top of the page and the lower thugs near the bottom. You were near the top, which was good to see, and you looked at each villain carefully. Soon enough it started getting late, and so you left, ready to come back the next day. Once you left, you made your way home, but something felt uneasy as you saw Stain, the hero killer. You had just seen him at the top of your chart. You were left to wonder what would he be doing here instead of in Hosa. You decided best to leave him be unless you wanted to be potentially killed. Once home, you flopped onto your bed and contemplated what had just happened. Back to the hideout, there was a heated discussion between Kirigiri, Shigaraki, and Stain, which eventually involved Kirigiri with a cut arm and being unable to move, and Shigaraki on the floor with a stabbed shoulder. You were just at your own home, completely oblivious to what had happened back at the bar. Eventually, you fell asleep peacefully. The next morning, you woke up the next day and got ready as usual before making your way to the hideout as you were told to come as early as possible. When you got to the bar, you were surprised to see a slight blood stain on Kirigiri's arm. Shigaraki wasn't there, and you just figured he would be in his room. He sat on the bar stool quietly. What happened to your arm? You asked, seeming concerned that since you left for the night, Kirigiri and possibly Shigaraki, by your guess, had been hurt. Kirigiri sighed. Stain made a fuss. You gestured for his arm, so he outstretched his arm towards you curiously. Then you placed your hand gently over the wound and healed it. Did Shigaraki get hurt? If so, then where is he? You asked, placing your hand on the table. In his room, just to the right door in the corridor next to you, but I don't know if he will let you heal him, he replied, as you started to walk to the small hallway with 2 doors, and you turned to the door on the right. You sheepishly knocked gently on the door. Come in, said Shigaraki from his room. His cold and upset tone startled you, but you crept inside and looked around at your surroundings. It was dark, but light enough to see clearly. There was a few shelves on the wall with books and ornaments on them. The walls were painted a deep, almost black space blue, which fit perfectly to the dim aesthetic. Shigaraki was sat on his bed playing Minecraft on the TV he had in front of him. The desk below the TV was filled with games, cases, and movies. You were snapped out of your thoughts when you heard Shigaraki's voice. What do you want? Oh, sorry, it's just that I heard what happened last night and I was wondering if you were okay or if you were in pain or... You trailed off. You didn't know why, but you were slightly shy around him. Well, heal me if you want, but leave right after, he grumbled, threw his hand on his face. You nodded and went over and gently healed him before going back to the bar, meeting Kirigiri, who informed you that you'd be going to Hosa and releasing nomus on the city. You asked what a nomu was, and he gladly explained, leaving you to wonder how they were made. That's where that one ends. Check her out. She made a chapter 4, so I have another chapter to read. I haven't read it yet, so I'm probably going to read it after I finish reading all the stories for YouTube. Because why not? Yeah. You will hear me in the next video. Bye-bye.